This is the Salerno podcast, episode 14. Today's episode of the Salerno podcast will be a catch-up episode. I've been gone for a couple weeks doing schoolwork and filmmaking, all sorts of fun things. Not really, but I'm here to catch up on all the great and not so great news stories that have come over the past 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. So sit back and relax because the Salerno podcast starts right now. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Salerno podcast, episode 14 on this Monday, March 20th, 2017. I'm your host, Salerno, and yeah, today's kind of a off-the-cuff, sort of non-traditional episode. I'm releasing this on a Monday because I've been gone for a while. I just wanted to get an episode out there, and I think Monday is as soon as I can get it out. And yeah, so I've been taking a break. My last episode was episode 13 with Christian Love Tier. We talked about the movie Secret of the Kells and the book that it's based on, the Book of the Kells, or Book of Kells, which is basically their illustrations of the 4 Gospels. Really fascinating stuff. I was really glad Christian was able to come on the show, and that he was also able to talk about that. Hopefully that isn't the last time he'll be on the show. I'll definitely try and get him on again talk about something else. But today's episode, because I've been gone for so long, a lot has happened over the past 3 or 4 weeks that I haven't been able to report on, just because I've decided to take a break from the podcast to focus on getting through finals at my school, focus on a film that I was editing for class and also for fun, called The Primary Boys. It's a Quentin Tarantino-style short film that I'm really, really proud of. Some great people working on that. Nick Jones, Nick Pape, Jimena Alejo, Josh, Michael Maggio, Chris McCarthy, Joe Fafelsky, Jacob Turner, Eddie Fay, even JJ Schindler was there to help with some editing advice and stuff. Everybody who helped did a great job. I couldn't have done it without them. I'm really proud of the short film because of the work they did. And I cannot wait to show you guys. I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with the results. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think. So I will link that in the description below, or it'll be somewhere in the video. You can check out The Primary Job. And if I said Primary Boys, I apologize. It was originally called The Primary Boys, but I changed the last minute to The Primary Job. I'm really proud of it. So if you guys want to check out The Primary Job, I will link that in this video. But yeah, after all that, I came back home to Omaha. I'm actually recording this at home in Iowa. I switch between Omaha and Iowa a lot. So, but yeah, so now that I'm back home, I'm going to try and catch up on all the stories that have came out over the past 3 or 4 weeks that I really wanted to touch on. Actually not a ton, but there's actually like 14, 15 stories I want to touch on. So let's try and run through this not as fast as possible. Let's try and see if we can get through all 14 stories. So here we go, starting with number 1. Marvel released a 3rd and final trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This trailer, like the previous trailer and the Super Bowl trailer, which was technically an official trailer, I guess, still doesn't reveal a lot about the story, only that we got to see Kurt Russell as Ego, a.k.a. Peter Quill's father, which was really exciting for fans of that character, fans of Marvel Comics who wanted to see Kurt Russell and what he looked like. We got a first look at him as an action figure first, and then we got this first look of him in the movie and trailer. And just seeing him in the movie, I think it really works that you cast somebody like an 80s action hero like Kurt Russell as Peter Quill's father. Makes so much sense and is so perfect, and I can't wait to see that relationship play out on screen. Also, the fact that this is going to be a film about families and fathers, going to kind of play into the relationship between Yondu and Peter, and then also how that becomes a dilemma with Peter's father, Ego, and Peter himself. So that'll be interesting to see that play out. Looking forward to seeing that. A lot of cool new bits of footage. No, not a single "I am Groot" line in that entire trailer. I was really surprised. I thought they'd have a couple of "I am Groot" lines in there, but nothing. It's pretty impressive. Just looks like a freaking blast. Some awesome space action. Some of our favorite characters in the first movie were coming back, and we're also getting introduced to new characters. Um, I just cannot wait for this movie. I think it definitely, I said before, kind of represents the films I'd like to make, the type of films I'd like to make, the Guardians franchise. So I'm looking forward to getting more inspiration and seeing what James Gunn and Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana and all those guys cook up at Marvel. Continuing on the topic of Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn recently talked about that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is definitely going to happen. He just doesn't know if that's going to be his next project or if he wants to do something else before he jumps back into Guardians of the Galaxy, because it's almost been doing Guardians for almost 3, 4, 5 years of his life. It's been complete Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, he wrote the Belko Experiment, but that's something he wrote. He wasn't really involved directorial-wise. Maybe he was, I'm not sure, but I understand if he'd want to try and take a break and do something else for a change. But we'll see. I mean, as long as he's doing the film, as long as he's writing and directing, I'll let him take 3-4 years off, just as long as we can get him to direct Guardians of the Galaxy. That would be fantastic. I mean, I would probably be okay with him just writing it, but I really want him to direct as well. So hopefully we can get him to do both roles. All right, we're moving right along to topic number 2. A new trailer was released for Wonder Woman, the most recent DC Comics film to come out. It's coming out this year in June, about Wonder Woman. So this trailer, I haven't really talked about Wonder Woman. I mean, I talked about the poster, and I think I talked about the trailer before. I don't remember. But anyways, this trailer didn't really wow me. It wasn't a phenomenal trailer, but it wasn't a bad trailer. It was a really good trailer. It was a very well put together trailer. I guess it just didn't really wow me like the first one. I really like that first trailer. I think that's the best trailer I think they've released so far. Not that the second one or this one are terrible. They're great trailers, but they've all been kind of showing us the same things. Each one shows a little more footage, but the structure of each trailer is basically the same as the first one. So we're not seeing anything new per se, but still, it gets people excited for the movie, and I'm very curious to see what this movie ends up doing, whether it's really good or really bad. I have a feeling it's going to be really good. The buzz behind this trailer has been really, really good. DC has been very careful with their marketing. They've given us enough to see what it's about, but they haven't given us too much. I'm really impressed they did not show us Ares, the God of War, who's confirmed to be the main villain of the film. I thought they would do that like they did that with frickin' Doomsday and Batman v Superman, but they didn't, and I'm really impressed with that. And I think that just goes to show the new leadership, the new direction, the fact that they've learned from their mistakes, and hopefully, Wonder Woman will be as good as we're hoping it will be. So we'll see. But good trailer, not super phenomenal, but good trailer. All right, topic number 3. Still, a lot of trailers. The first full trailer for Doctor Who Season 10 has been released, giving us a first, really full-fledged look at the show, or the season. Capaldi is back as the 12th Doctor. Pearl Mackie is in as the new companion, Bill. And Matt Lucas is returning from the previous 2 Christmas specials as Nardole, I think his name is. I actually haven't seen the return of Dr. Mysterio, so I haven't really, I don't really know what his arc has been with these last 2 Christmas specials, but I'm glad to see that the Doctor has more than one companion. That's kind of a traditional thing that happened in the old series. He sometimes would have 5 or 6 companions traveling with him. So I like to see that he has more than just one person traveling with him. But it's also really exciting to have a new companion in the house. But also, it's kind of sad because Capaldi is leaving, so you don't really. We're not going to get a lot of time to see these characters develop a relationship. I mean, we'll get one season in a Christmas special, but that's about it. I mean, compared to the likes of Rose Tyler and Amy Pond and Clara, we haven't. They had at least 2 or 3 seasons apiece to develop a relationship with the Doctor, and have challenges come their way to challenge their relationship. So I don't know if we're going to get much to challenge their relationship, Bill and the Doctor, in this one season. But I'm hearing that they're trying to back away from the dark tone that the series has taken on with series 8 and 9. They're trying to make it a little more happy, a little more lighthearted. Still dark and scary, but still very fun and lighthearted. So I love the trailer. I think it's great. I love the fact that we're getting the return of some classic villains like the old-fashioned Cybermen. I think that's really, really interesting that they decide to bring those back, because I mean those effects were state of the art back in the day, I guess. Like the sock over people's head with the hole for the mouth and the eyes. That was kind of state of the art back in the day. And then to bring that back and make that sort of part of the evolution of the Cybermen, I think is just hilarious and also really fun at the same time. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. And then also the return of the Ice Warriors. The Ice Warriors are my favorite of the Doctor Who villains. I think they're very underrated. I hope they make a big comeback in the Doctor Who franchise, and that after this season they continue to become a big presence in Doctor Who, much like the Daleks and the Cybermen. Like you can't it's reached the point where you cannot do a Doctor Who series or season without at least 1 or 2 episodes focusing on the Daleks or the Cybermen. It's just, you can't do it. But yeah, Doctor Who Season 10 looks a lot of fun. I cannot wait to see this last season of Peter Capaldi's. It looks like it's going to be a great season. A lot of new costumes, a lot of new locations, a lot of new alien threats, and then some old threats coming back. So, a lot of reasons to be excited. Alright, number 4. Entertainment Weekly has given us our first look at Marvel's Thor Ragnarok, the 3rd film in the Thor franchise, and apparently it's going to be a sort of a reimagining of the character, a soft reboot, if you will. Not of the universe he's in, but just of the character and what we know about him. So, one, he's got a haircut, and if you're up in arms about the haircut, we've already seen him with his traditional haircut in set photos and behind-the-scenes footage, so I'm not too upset about that. I mean, it's a nice change of pace. I'm sure there's a reason why he gets a haircut. Maybe when he's in the Planet Hulk place, they make him cut his hair, and that's why he's the way he appears. But anyways, a lot of set photos from Entertainment Weekly showing us the new, vibrant, and colorful world of Thor Ragnarok. New costumes. Definitely getting a Guardians of the Galaxy meets Star Wars, like fantasy Star Wars type, like Cantina Star Wars vibe with this film, which I'm not too happy with. Okay, here's my issue with Thor Ragnarok. Thor, for me, is like Braveheart. It's dirty, it's hardcore, it's merciless at times, but it's still, fantasy and science fiction elements, and it's still very fun and different. This is not Thor at all for me. I think Thor is, I've heard this film being described as like a retro video game fantasy film. And while that sounds really cool, it's not Thor. And we haven't reached that pinnacle image of Thor that I want, and that a lot of people want. we got close with the Dark World, but the Dark World was a very disappointing sort of by the numbers Thor movie. As you know, it had some good elements to it, and you know, it's definitely a lot more interesting to look at than the first film, I think. But this is just completely out of left field for me. I don't understand the direction they're taking with Thor Ragnarok. Once again, I want to see the hardcore Vikings, Braveheart type Thor that a lot of people, like myself, have been wanting to see for a long time. And I'm really scared that this is not going to go the way Marvel intends for it to go. I like everything I'm seeing. It's really cool. And anything outside of... If it wasn't Thor, I'd be really excited for this. But the fact that it is Thor, and they're just sort of doing this out of left field take on it is not working with me, and it doesn't really seem like it's going to match up continuity-wise with the previous two films, which, if you're going to make a trilogy, at least make them feel like they're within the same ballparks. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a trailer will wow me, and I'll be impressed. I just hope it's not this continuous, colorful, bouncy, comedic road trip movie, because I mean, this is Ragnarok. This is supposed to be dark and scary, and you know that it should be the darkest of the MCU films because of what's happening. Ragnarok is the apocalypse of Asgard. That needs to be handled in a very dark, end of the world type disaster movie way, I think. Like, it should be like bazonkers scary. I get that Chris Hemsworth has a knack for comedy and you want to pull on his strengths of being comedic and funny, but this is Thor. I'm sorry, but Thor is not funny. Maybe he is in some cases, but he is okay, I'm ranting, but point being, I'll wait till a trailer to get to officially, like, solidify whether I'm going to look forward to this movie or not, but I like what I saw, but the fact that it is Thor gets me really concerned. So... We'll see. We'll see what happens. Alright, number 5. Another trailer. The first trailer for Edgar Wright's new movie, Baby Driver, has been released, starring, I'm going to butcher his name, but Ansel Elgort? Him, Lily James, John Bernthal, not Adam Driver, that would be funny if he was in there, Jamie Foxx, John Hamm, and Kevin Spacey. They're all in this movie. I love this trailer. Love it. It's so fun, and it feels like Edgar Wright meets Drive. This kid is trying to get out of the crime life, and he can't because of his boss and all the people working for his boss trying to stop him from getting out of the crime life. But then just the fact that he has a ringing in his ears and he uses music to cancel it out. This is a very interesting character quirk. Yeah, this first trailer just really knocked it out of the park. I'm definitely going to go check out this movie. I love everything Edgar Wright has done. My favorite film of his is The World's End. I was disappointed he couldn't do Ant-Man. I'm sure he would have done something really radically awesome with that movie, but Ant-Man is doing well. Adam Driver. Why do I keep saying that? Maybe it's because of Baby Driver. Sorry. Edgar Wright is doing really well, and I cannot wait for this movie. It looks so much fun. The dialogue is just funny and witty and clever. I love the bit where they're talking about the Mike Myers mask, and they're supposed to get a Michael Myers mask from Halloween. I just thought that was hilarious. More reason to be excited about this movie, the script and the dialogue and the action scenes. I'm sure hopefully this will give Edgar Wright a little bit more of a resurgence among mainstream audiences. Hardcore film people like me know Edgar Wright, but not a lot of people know who Edgar Wright is. So hopefully this brings him into the forefront of everybody knowing who Edgar Wright is. That'd be really, really great for him. So check out Baby Driver when it comes out. All right, number 6. Tron. So, Joseph Kosinski, director of Tron Legacy, came out recently after a screening of Tron Legacy for Collider, said that he revealed the plot of Tron 3 and the title, which would be called Tron Ascension, and would center on Sam and Cora living their lives in the real world, and basically the world of the grid coming to our world and trying to create an invasion. And that they would have to go back into the world of the grid and shut it down. That sounds really, really cool. I don't know if Jeff Bridges will be back as Kevin Flynn, or if he's even still alive. I don't know who else you'd get to cast, but Cora would definitely be back, and she'd be sort of the forefront character. Sam Flynn would be back. That would be it would have been really cool to see, but unfortunately, it got canceled a year ago, I think, by Disney. They're still waiting for the right time to bring it back. But now we're hearing that they might not do the sequel, and they might do a stupid reboot. That's right. Disney is rumored to be planning a Tron reboot with the Joker himself, Jared Leto. Now, Tron is a franchise that I think, if you're going to continue it, needs a sequel. I don't want to see a reboot. I mean, if you're talking about reboot as in focusing on a different character within the same world, and those characters who we know and love have the potential to come back, maybe. But I don't want to see a reboot. I don't want to see a fresh, blank slate, clean start reboot. And especially not with Jared Leto. I mean, Jared Leto's a fine actor, but I just don't know if he'd fit into the world of Tron, at least not as a hero. I could see him being like Castor, the guy played by oh gosh, what's his name? The guy who played Castor. I don't remember the actor's name, but that guy. I did not like Jared Leto's Joker at all. I had hope for him. I held out hope, and I did not like his Joker at all. Not to say he's a terrible actor and he can't do anything, but I'm sure he could do something in the Tron universe. But like I said, maybe cast him as a character like Castor, someone really quirky and off the cusp. I can't see him as a leading man in the Tron universe. Like, if you were to cast him as Tron, that'd be really just... I cannot see that. So, I'm begging Disney to cancel the reboot, do the sequel, because people want to see Tron Ascension. No one wants to see a reboot. I've been waiting almost 7 years for a Tron sequel. So, I want to see it happen. And I think the reason why the sequel, Tron Legacy, was so not so well received was because it was a film that was so ahead of its time. Like, I think if that film came out today, it would have crushed with critics, with audiences, box office wise. It would be a hit, I believe. So yeah, I don't want to see a reboot. I want to see a straight up sequel to Tron Legacy. All right, moving right along to number 7. Pixar's released the first official teaser trailer for their new original film, Coco. This film centers on a Mexican boy named Miguel who travels to the land of the dead to discover some secrets within his family heritage. This film is based heavily on the Mexican holiday Dia de los Muertos, and I love this trailer. I thought it was beautiful. It feels like a very old-fashioned Pixar film. The trailer was kind of set up in a way like they set up all their trailers. Very, very cryptic and very secretive, not revealing a lot, but what they reveal is beautiful and breathtaking and totally encapsulates you into the movie. And I mean, I can't speak too much on it because it's a trailer, but the visuals are breathtakingly beautiful. If you want to hear more about this, check out my trailer reaction, but love the trailer, and obviously I'm a huge Pixar fan, so I'll see anything with Pixar, but this particularly, especially if people aren't looking forward to Cars 3, at least they have this to look forward to, a original Pixar film, which will hopefully be a major hit. I mean, their last original film, The Good Dinosaur, was not as well received as they hoped, but some people still liked it. So we'll see what happens with Coco, but I have a feeling it's going to be a hit. All right, number 8. Warner Brothers is going to reboot The Matrix with actor Michael B. Jordan. Now, first, I want to say, like Michael B. Jordan, I like him. He's a great actor. Really, really good actor. And that being said, no. Stop it. Stop it right now. Don't reboot The Matrix. Don't reboot anything. I mean, I shouldn't say that because some reboots are actually really good. Some remakes are really good. But I just... Every time I hear the word reboot, I cringe because I don't want to see a reboot of anything. I'm sick of people trying to redo original properties. Make your own original crap. Not crap, but make your own original stuff, okay? For crying out loud. And I think if you're going to do another Matrix movie, do a sequel. I mean, I haven't seen the last 2 Matrix films, so I don't know if Neo dies or not. But if he doesn't, you can just go ahead and do a continuation of his story with another character, or to maybe pass the torch on, make more Matrix films with a new character. That's fine. But don't just straight up reboot it. I mean, The Matrix isn't even... Is it 10 years old? I'm not sure. But it's not that old to where it needs a retooling or a reboot or anything like that. It's also a classic. It's a classic in cinema. And I'm sick of people rebooting classics. I mean, look what happened with Ben-Hur. I mean, although Ben-Hur wasn't that bad of a movie, it still didn't match up to the original. Or even the fact that they're remaking stupid Dirty Rotten Scoundrels and they're calling it Nasty Women. I hate that. So I am naturally just against all remakes or reboots because what's wrong with the original? What's wrong with the original lore? What's wrong with adding to the original lore is my question. All right, number 9. Very exciting. More good news. Matthew Vaughn is in early talks to possibly direct Man of Steel 2. And it's rumored that this could be a soft reboot of Man of Steel, making it a little more lighthearted, a little more adventurous and fun. Not that everybody hated the original, but not that everybody hated the new take on Man of Steel, but some people felt like it was kind of a departure from who Superman is. And I can understand people being up in arms about that. But, I love Man of Steel. John Campea said it's the masterpiece. I agree, it's a masterpiece. The more I watch it, the more I get out of it. I think it's a phenomenal piece of film. And a great retooling of Superman that stays true to who he is, while still developing him as the Superman we know and love. So hopefully, if Matthew Vaughn is our guy and he directs Man of Steel 2, he will make it... he will give us the traditional Superman we know and love while still maintaining the tone and the feel of that first Man of Steel, because I think that was it wasn't dark per se, but it was very gritty and hopeful. I just love the film. I understand people's concerns about it because I used to be concerned about the same things, but the more I watch it, the more I get out of it, and I just love it. So... And Matthew Vaughn's a great director, like Kingsman 2, X-Men First Class, Kick-Ass. I think he didn't do Kick-Ass 2. Or maybe he did. I don't remember. But he's got a great track record. So this is all very good signs, a lot of good reasons to be happy that he could be directing Man of Steel 2. All right, on to number 10. I guess this is a double whammy. So Matt Reeves, who initially was in talks to direct The Batman and then dropped out of talks to direct The Batman, is now officially directing The Batman. We've been through this roller coaster for the past 2 weeks, and now he is officially confirmed after after rumors said that he declined, that talks had broke down between the two of them, and that they were sort of waiting to cool their heads because maybe that it was a very heated argument of whether he would direct Batman or not. But he is, and Ben Affleck's on board. Warner Brothers seems to be on board. I mean, this is the guy who did the Planet of the Apes movies. I mean, he's a fantastic director, so we should all be happy about this. I mean, I haven't seen the Planet of the Apes films, but I just, seeing how well received they are, I believe that Matt Reeves does a great job with these films, and does a great job with any film he's done. And I think he is a very interesting and inspired choice to direct Batman. And I think he's going to do something very original with it, collaborating with Ben Affleck. I'm also hearing that they're going to completely start from scratch with their script, which makes sense because of new direction, new script, and hopefully Ben Affleck will still stay in consistent collaboration with him to write that script. But I think this is all really good because we're seeing DC really trying to course correct, and they're going after good directors, and they're taking their time. They're not revealing too much. They're not doing too much. They're taking their time. They're trying to develop a plan. And I think Justice League and Wonder Woman are kind of their last hope. If these films aren't good, I don't know what I'm going to do or what anyone's going to do. But I'm liking this. These are all good signs. The fact that they've gotten a director, their first choice at that, after Ben Affleck dropped out, I think is a good sign. So I think we're on the right track to making this franchise better than previous attempts like Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman. So we'll see. Fingers crossed, but things could go wrong. All right, number 11. Let's talk about Iron Fist. Iron Fist initially came out a week before release with some very negative buzz. And frankly, they're kind of right. I'm at episode 6 right now, and it's not that the show is bad. It's well written, it's well structured, camera angles are a little off, but it's boring. It's so boring. Like, we're talking about corporate business transactions and business agreements and drug shipments and businesses competing against one another. This is a show called Iron Fist. A show about a dude who knows karate and has a freaking fist that glows. Why is it so hard to make that an exciting and fun concept? I understand you want to make it as realistic and gritty as, Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, but at least those shows started off with a bang. Some of them literally started off with a bang. Those shows were exciting and got you within the first episode. The first episode of this is just, I'm back, no one believes me. There's no crime fighting, there's no karate moves, there's no costume, there's no establishing himself as a hero. I mean, this is not a superhero show. Iron Fist may be a superhero in the comics, but he is not, at least from what I'm seeing so far in from episode 1 through 6, he's not a superhero, and has no intention of becoming one as far as I'm concerned. This show just completely misses the ball of who Iron Fist is, from my knowledge. He is a kung fu mystical superhero. Adapt that. I don't care about the corporate business dealings within the world. If I want to know about that, I'll watch Daredevil and the Law. At least Daredevil can make that a little interesting. This is just boring. And it doesn't feel like what an Iron Fist show should be. Sure, there's hints of martial arts and stuff with Colleen Wing and occasional, meditation with Danny Rand, but that's it. There's no major showdowns with kung fu or anything like that. I'm really disappointed with this show so far. I'm still watching it because it's still entertaining in a way. The characters I can get into, but it's not what an Iron Fist show should be at all. And I'm a little disappointed in that sense. Alright, 2 more stories and then we're done. Rumor has it that Chris Evans is officially confirmed that he will be done with playing Captain America after the next 2 Avengers Infinity War films. Or Avengers 3 and 4 as they're being called. A report from Esquire magazine or Esquire News or something said that it was like an excerpt from a magazine saying, Chris Evans lays down on the couch aching all over, saying, he's hurting all over after working out for the next 2 Captain America films. After these 2 films, his contract is up for the 35-year-old. People ran around with their heads cut off saying, oh my gosh, that means he's done with Captain America, oh my gosh. I don't agree with it. I don't buy into that. The magazine is stating a fact, and that fact is that he is indeed done. His contract is up. No, I don't think that means he's going to die. He could, but I don't think it means that he's not going to return as Captain America. There's still a very possible chance that he'll come back as Captain America, maybe in a couple of years from now, or right after Avengers 4. We don't know, but unless the words come out of his mouth, I am done playing Captain America, this is my last one, I'm not buying into this thing, because it's not stating anything new. We know his contract's up. It does not mean he's going to be done. He could be, but he hasn't said yet. So I believe that I believe he will. I believe he's going to come back for at least another 3 or 4 films. Maybe not as intensive roles. Maybe they'll spread out when the next Captain America film will be. Maybe not directly after Infinity War. Or maybe he'll take 5 years off, let Bucky handle the role, and then he'll come back and take up the mantle again. I firmly believe he will come back. Unless he says, I am done with Captain America. Those words have to come out of his mouth, not some magazine, not some interviewer that heard something from a certain somebody. His mouth, Chris Evans' mouth, has to say, I'm done with Captain America. Otherwise, I think he'll play it for at least another 5 or 10 years. We'll find out. All right, our last catch-up story of the week. Transformers The Last Night Trailer 2 was released this past week, and my gosh, is this a terrible... This is a terrible trailer. I mean, usually it's the reverse with, like, the trailers for Transformers are really... Usually it's the reverse with Transformers trailers, like, they're really good, and then the movies are really bad. This first trailer was... The first trailer was okay, honestly, I think. Second trailer was awful. Like, it's the girl, and she is talking to the camera, the audience, like some sort of Reebok or Under Armour ad, talking about, hey, I fight like a girl, don't you? It's cool to fight like a girl. And first, I want to say, I get what she's trying to say. I get the message. I support the message that, you know, girls can be badasses too. I get that. I totally support the message, but this is such a cliche and stupid way to go about it. You don't have to blatantly say, yeah, I'm a female and I fight like a girl, don't you? You don't have to do that. You can show this girl being awesome and cool just by showing footage. This doesn't give us anything about the plot. It's a marketing ploy, for one, just using it to get little girls into the theater, which I understand from, but make it a TV spot, if anything. Don't make this a trailer. And the trailer ends so terribly by, you see the Dinobot puking up a police car, and Mark Wahlberg chewing him out. That's not Transformers. This whole thing was just terrible. And then they show us footage we've already seen from Nickelodeon's most recent Kids' Choice Awards. Some of the clips they showed us, clips from the first trailer, and then this dinosaur thing with the car being puked out is a new thing we saw. Heck no, actually that was shown in the Kids' Choice Awards clip. So nothing new. They just whipped up new, like, the same old footage and put it in the theaters, called it a trailer, made it this big, you know, feminine ad. And I'm not entirely against the feminist movement, but that's not a trailer. So I'm getting on a rant at this point, but this is it's a terrible trailer, and honestly gets me a little more excited for the film, because if the trailers are bad, then maybe the film will be good. But then also seeing the footage, I'm scared for this movie, and I don't know why I am, because they've all been terrible at this point. But I'm still holding out hope that it could be good, but it probably won't be. We'll see. Terrible trailer, my gosh. All right, well, we did it. We actually managed to get through all 13 stories. I kind of combined 2 of them, with Matt Reeves directing Batman and then the script being rewritten. So we got through all 14 stories, so awesome. Before I go, I want to make a couple shout-outs before I end the podcast today. First off, I got to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Delphi Freeman. She is just killing it with music. She's a young artist that I got to meet while in the making of Anna. She reached out and saying she wanted to help promote the film, and we did some stuff together with that. But I've been following her music ever since we met, and she has just been killing it. She just released a song called Always Watching, and then now a song called Digital Throwback, and they're both just amazing. They are awesome songs, and I just can't get enough of these songs. And Delphi is an awesome young singer. She's got a promising career ahead of herself. I really hope that she's able to take off. I have no doubt that she will. So yeah, really quick shout out to Delphi. If you haven't checked out her music, I'll put the links to both her songs, music videos for those songs, in the description of this podcast episode. But please check out Delphi and check out her music. She's super awesome. And also, a huge announcement. So I told you guys that I've been trying to reach out to guests outside of Escondido, artists that aren't necessarily in film, to be on the podcast and talk about what they're into. And I'm happy to announce that my good friend Haley Ruger is going to be on the Vince Salerno podcast. We don't know when, we don't know how soon it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. We still have to talk about scheduling, when it's actually going to line up with our schedules, but for sure, Haley Ruger will be on the Vince Salerno podcast, and I'm so excited to announce that. Haley and I have known each other since 2014. We went to school together at JP Catholic. She is my first original college bestie, as we call ourselves. And she is just a joy. She is a beautiful person, awesome person to be friends with. And I'm super excited to have her on the podcast. I've been wanting to get her on for such a long time. And to have her come down and be on the podcast is just so exciting. So we'll keep you posted on that. Hopefully it'll happen within the next 2 months or so. We gotta just meet up and talk about scheduling, but it's gonna happen soon. So stay tuned for Haley Ruger on the Vince Salerno podcast. And that's our show today, guys. Thank you all for watching this episode. If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can check out my short films, trailer reactions, and more episodes of the Vince Salerno podcast. As I said before, my new short film, The Primary Job, is on YouTube. I'll link that in the video. You can check that out. And I've also released a new trailer reaction for Disney Pixar's Coco. You can check that out as well. I wasn't very enthusiastic about it because I was kind of tired that day, so I'm sorry if I seem very out of it in that video. Regardless, I am super excited for Coco. Don't get me wrong. And a little update on the movie season this year. I've seen Logan, Lego Batman, and Kong Skull Island. And I'm going to start doing this more often, just sort of letting you guys know my current ranking of the films coming out this year. Right now, it's Logan, Lego Batman, and Kong Skull Island. I'm going to go see Beauty and the Beast Tuesday, so I'm sure that'll bump Kong down, because it wasn't a great movie, but it was a fun movie. I had a lot of fun with Kong, but, I'll talk about it later. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you all for watching this special episode of the Vince Salerno podcast. I'll see you guys this Friday. God bless. Have a great day, and peace out.